I enjoyed it. I always enjoyed it. Luke, everybody.
Zamit. Oh, it's Italian, and my father always explained it like Zamit on the pizza. He sounds exactly like that.
So it's just no, I know. I know how to spell later, alright? Thank you. Luke, Zamit. Let's hear it for him. One more time.
I love Stephen Crane because he writes poetry that's written in a paradox kind of form, and it's short and it's sweet and it's simple. So I wrote one and I based it off him, and it's titled "Failing to Rob Death, Death Robbed Me." And when I saw Death at my funeral, I said, "Hey, Death, you robbed me of my life." And then Death turned towards me and he said, "How like a human you are. For yours was the first offense. You stole life from me every day till just now." I have a really big problem with taking life seriously. Mostly for serious reasons, but also mostly for not serious reasons. Therefore, I definitely believe in giving 110, 130%, even 1,000%. In fact, I believe that every time you play a game, and you're counting your points at the end, you should add 2 zeros at least to the end. Therefore, even though the amount you're losing by is way huge, you don't have to be so sad. Because you have 2 little zeros there, and you can make little eyeballs, you can make happy eyes in them, which I often do, as well as recommend. One of the biggest reasons why I have a hard time taking life seriously is because of the very real stories around Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving is a very important holiday, and people don't take it seriously enough when they're like, well, let's have a happy Thanksgiving, but let's put up Christmas decorations either the day of, day before, or day after. Not that there's anything against Christmas decorations, and as much as Thanksgiving it's quite made up because Indians and Pilgrims didn't quite get along as well as we'd like to think they did. But my favorite story from Thanksgiving isn't mine. I heard it from a teacher in high school, and it goes like this. His mom works all day to make dinner for them, and there's 3 boys and a father. Works all day. All the boys are pretty old. They're big. They're black holes. They can eat universes, and they do. And it still doesn't satisfy them. So she works all day, slaving over the stove to make 4 universes plus for her children and husband. Puts it on the table, but not all of it, because there's lots. So she goes back to the kitchen. Before she can return with the rest of it, they've already started to dig in. Seeing this, she gets extremely angry. She starts breathing fire. She turns into another kind of being that's not quite human anymore. Starts holding the garbage bag. Starts throwing the food in there. And they start eating more. Instead of trying to stop her or say sorry, they're like, she's like, and then when everybody's like, takes their plates, throws their plates in there, looks at them, doesn't say a single word, leaves out the door. They're still together as a family. But I heard another story recently that came really close to that. And this story comes from Russia. And I figured, well, if I heard a story from a whole country, that might come up with the story I heard from my high school professor. And the story goes like this. Russia decides they want to own the Antarctic Ocean bed. So they take a submarine and they go... Here's the ground. And they take the little robot arm and it goes out and it puts their little Russian flag down there. And then they take their boat and their submarine and they go. And they make a national or international statement saying, hey guys, suppose the ocean ever goes low enough that the bed becomes land. We own that. Can you dig it? And when I heard this, I was like, seriously? Like, seriously? What? I mean, what is up with this? And Russia's like, it's cool, dog. It's totally cool, dog, because we got it, and it's going to be ours, and we're definitely going to last as long as this, it needs to be. So I'm hoping that as soon as the land comes above the ocean bed, that's when Russia falls apart. I would just find that incredibly ironic. And usually that's how it goes. Like when you're trying to go to bed, and you really, like you just get bed and you're comfortable, and all of a sudden, bam, you have to go to the bathroom. Or bam, you have a really good idea that you want to write down. But it's like bedtime ideas. Or I think it happens the best in bed, in the shower, or on the toilet. Everywhere that you need, that you can't get to a writing utensil. So it's kind of like that. Like you get down, you get comfortable, and you're like, oh shit, I really have to use the bathroom. Or like someone leaves a light on the wrong area and you can't reach it with a thing you can throw. And you're like, maybe I'll yell. I'll yell so much, Dad! Dad! And my dad says, he's like, what are you talking about, my son? I'm like, turn out the light! He's like, what are you doing? What children these days? But in my day, we all like tomato sauce on our spaghetti. And he always brought that up. He always brought that up because he had 5 children and none of us like spaghetti sauce. I'm sorry, Dad. If you ever says, I'm sorry I don't like spaghetti sauce. I hate tomatoes. My father has taught me a lot of things, including an incredible joke. And it's incredible because when he told it to me, it was so terrible. And the joke is, 2 men escape a prison. It's pitch black. They find a river. One guy has a flashlight. He shines the flashlight on the river and says, here, you walk across that beam, it's how you're going to get across. Then I'll throw you the flashlight and you let me across. His friend starts to go across. He's like, wait a minute. You could turn the light off on me in the middle. And I stole your jam and toast today, so I think you might try to kill me for that jam and toast. That's it. That's the whole joke. So I heard this joke because I'm trying to get jokes so I can tell people, because I love learning things and I love telling things. And I say, Dad, this doesn't make any sense. He's like, what do you mean, my son? Of course it makes sense. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. He's like, what's this beam? And I thought that maybe there was a beam on the riverbed and like he was shining a light on it. And my dad's like, no, it's a beam of light. I'm like, no, but that doesn't make any sense to me. And apparently they're both insane. So they're from an insane asylum. We didn't mention that. I just assumed that in my father's jails and his jokes, they're all insane. So they escaped their insane jail, and the guy says, well, walk across the beam. And the funny thing is, the guy's not like, he believes he can walk across the beam, he's just not trusting the other guy. And that's the funny part. It kind of ruins it when you make fun of the joke the whole time, huh? And so, sad for Dad. So I said, all right, Dad, that's a terrible joke. I don't want to hear any more jokes. He's like, wait, my son, I will tell you another joke. So he says, these two are, they're running characters, and it's another joke. So he says, okay, they're back in jail, and they're in different cells. And then he forgets the rest. like, thanks, Dad. I can really teach a whole lot with that joke. And recently I learned something from Nick Dembski. And I shared it to my family. And what I learned from him was how to go like this. And I learned it by watching him.
There it is. Oh.
So we're going to the supermarket, and Nick sees his girlfriend's brother, and he goes like this. I know it's his girlfriend's brother, and it's amazing. Thank you.
Take a quick break.
Run, girl. I'm running.
Restrooms in the back. Sidewalks out front.
That is 50. Please explain that. That is 50. That is. I really got to start that movie right now.